Today, I have a question for you. Whether you're already retired or still dreaming and planning for retirement, here's the question. What's the one thing you used to think you needed for retirement, but you don't anymore? So I figure if I ask that question to you, I should go first and tell you what my thoughts are on that. Here's the truth. I didn't even think about retirement until maybe my mid 30s. It was just a vague idea. It was floating out there somewhere, in the someday category. It wasn't anything that I really gave a whole lot of thought to. So now that I'm doing this exercise today, I decided to reflect and say, what did I really think retirement would be like? And for all intents and purposes, I thought it would be much of the same life that I was living at the time. And that life was a suburban lifestyle in a comfortable neighborhood. I thought maybe we would get an RV. Things would be the same. It would be whatever the standard script for retirement. It would be just more of that same path. But the strange thing about me actually having those thoughts is that David and I hadn't been really taking the path that other people were taking anyway. So to think that retirement would turn out to be just like our life in suburbia was really not clear thinking for me. So in middle age, we took a different path. At the age of 50, we picked up and moved, and we live rurally now. So we're far from neighborhoods or the typical type of suburban neighborhood anyway. We do have people that live in the area. So to say that, we're so far out that we don't have neighbors would be inaccurate. But we live rurally. We don't have shopping centers nearby. So there's no, HOA, there's no manicured lawns. There is a lot of wildlife, a lot of nature, and a lot of simplicity. And when I think about it, that is something that I really love. It's not fancy, but it is filled with a lot of peace and purpose, and it does have what David and I value. So looking back, what I thought I needed in those suburban comforts really didn't align with the life that I truly wanted. And I remember thinking back when we did buy that house in the nice suburban neighborhood that we had somehow sold out. Now, I suppose that comes from my baby boomer upbringing where, there was that thing that we were anti-establishment. And when we moved in that neighborhood, it just seemed like we were becoming our parents. What's the point of today's question? Well, we all pick up ideas of what we think retirement is supposed to look like. Some of that comes from our parents. Some of it comes from financial advisors. Maybe some of it comes from ads showing people on the beach relaxing and traveling and doing all of those things. But how many of those ideas are actually ours? How many of those ideas really serve us? So again, I'll ask you, what's the one thing you used to think you needed for retirement, but you don't anymore? Maybe it was a certain amount of money in the bank. Maybe it was the idea that you need to keep working to pay for expensive toys. Maybe it was the belief that you couldn't switch jobs to something fulfilling. Or maybe you thought you couldn't retire unless the kids were out of college or you paid for a fancy wedding. Or that you had to wait until 65, 70, or beyond, whatever that magic number is. So what is that one thing that you didn't need after all? Maybe what you really wanted was freedom, time, peace of mind. Or maybe it was just simply the permission to live life on your own terms. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. My answer was rather rambling, so don't be afraid to share yours. Your story could be exactly what somebody else in this audience needs to hear today. So if you would take a moment and reflect and to share those ideas with the Rebel Retirement community. Because what we let go in retirement can be just as important as the things that we hold on to. So here's to unlearning what we no longer need, to discovering freedom in new ways, and finding joy in the unexpected. If you haven't already, please subscribe for more outside the box retirement ideas and living your best just-in-time retirement lifestyle. Until next time, stay curious, stay healthy, and trust your retirement journey. I'm Marlene with Rebel Retirement. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hey, you guys, please take a look around my channel. I have hundreds of videos on topics including Social Security, Medicare, how to get out of debt, pros and cons of moving, relationship issues, health topics, and more. And all of these videos are based on my experience and what I have learned in retirement. And I know that many people are worried about money in retirement, and this is exactly why Rebel Retiree and I created our just-in-time retirement series. And it's absolutely free, you guys, so it doesn't hurt to take a look at it. It's a mindset-based retirement planning strategy that eliminates waste and aligns your finances with your goals and values. With continuous improvement, you free up your resources to create an abundant retirement lifestyle. So I recommend viewing the playlist on this channel. And to get the full picture, visit our website, rebelretirement.com. And if you are nearing retirement and worried about your financial future, you're going to get a whole different viewpoint. See for yourself at rebelretirement.com.